I want to talk about what is going on with fast food prices. A few weeks ago, I was actually at a Wendy's and I ended up buying a combo meal and finding it to be close to $20. And I didn't know what I even got at the time. And by the time I got home and I ate it, um, you know, contrary to what you think you may see here, I don't eat fast food on a lot of occasions. So when I do, it's kind of a little bit of a special occasion or a special case. But I was almost appalled by the fact that the meal was barely even satiating and it cost so much. So that led me down this rabbit hole of looking into um, basically what fast food offerings in my area have in terms of the pricing. What I did was yesterday I went onto every single fast food restaurant in the area near me, and I live in upstate New York. Um, and I kind of wanted to do a case study of what's going on with fast food prices. Now, the goal of this here today is to really just bring the topic to the table and to talk about it. We're not going to solve the problem, obviously. This could get very ugly in terms of political comments and all that type of stuff. I don't want to go there. I think everybody has their beliefs, and I don't know what goes into how the food system is actually funded and all that stuff. So that's not what we're talking about here. I just want to talk straight up about price to value and what you're even getting for what the prices are. So the first one I wanted to bring up was McDonald's. That was the thumbnail, and that one to me is the most interesting. So here, what I had selected on the website, and it's amazing how this works. On a lot of the websites, uh, you can't even get to the pricing until you get to a cart. I think it was actually Wendy's that wouldn't let me see the pricing until I actually added stuff to the cart. It's like, wow, that's pretty shady. But for McDonald's, this is essentially what it comes up with. This is with just a medium-sized meal, and it's a Big Mac meal. Now, I remember, and now I'm going to sound like the crotchety old man complaining about the good old days, but that's not what this is either. I think there's a lot more going on than just the typical inflation, and I'll get to that toward the end of this kind of analysis. But the interesting thing is $14.95 for this here, and that's not upsized. It's the medium-sized fry, which I think there's been a lot of case studies on the internet as to whether or not the medium-sized fries is at any value above like large and small. So everything I present today, if there is a side option, is always the medium side. So essentially just a Big Mac, medium fries, and a soda, $14.95. So for me, you can go to a restaurant, maybe not with a soda, but for $14.95, most restaurants can give you a burger and fries, and it's going to be a much better quality burger, and it's going to be, a much larger portion. So, especially with a Big Mac, I think they're 2-ounce patties, or maybe even smaller than 2-ounce patties, so you don't even really get a quarter pound of meat between those. So that was kind of interesting in terms of McDonald's. McDonald's is probably one of the most prevalent fast food places in the world still in 2024. So that was definitely one of those things where I was like, that's weird. Now, another part of why this is so front of my mind right now, I'm currently between jobs, so I'm trying to look for ways to save a dollar here and there. But I don't want to cook all the time either. I want to go out and be able to have a fast food lunch. And what I noticed in doing this is that there's very few options that are actually under $10. And I'm going to actually, I'm going to check in with the comments and then bring stuff in as things become prevalent. But let me bring up the next example, which is actually Burger King. And this was another one of those where it's like you don't even know exactly what's going on in terms of what it is. But if you see here, the price to add to the cart was $11.19. Now that's for the Whopper, and we can debate whether the Whopper or the Big Mac is the better sandwich. In my case, I will say it's the Whopper every single time. That's kind of my favorite fast food burger in general. But even for that, a Whopper is a pretty big portion with the medium fries for 11 and change. By the time you do tax, you're up over $12. So that, I would say, is more reasonable than McDonald's. McDonald's for $14.99 for Big Mac, I think, is highway robbery. Now Burger King was the option that I would have went with at when I was at my previous job, because Burger King was the closest fast food restaurant to my work. We didn't even have a McDonald's that was relatively close. The closest McDonald's was 10 minutes away. Burger King was like 2 minutes away. So I have actually done more Burger King than McDonald's in recent years. Not to say I did it a lot. I mean, Burger King maybe once a month. And that was really the only fast food that I was eating in terms of that. Again, you can look at me. I read the comments here, guys. You can look at me and judge all you want, but I don't eat fast food on that kind of occasion. We have Larry in the house, home wrap repair. I think sit-down places haven't raised prices that much recently, but fast food and fast casual are up so high. Yeah, and that's kind of the topic of discussion here, Larry, is that I think there was a trend of after the 2020, 2021 situation, some of the local mom and pop shops kind of were forced to raise prices, but that's kind of tapered away. And now what we're seeing is huge astronomical increases in fast food prices, which is just crazy. So going along with that, so then we have McDonald's, we have Burger King. What would be kind of the next iteration of that? And I would say it probably is Wendy's. Now for Wendy's, this was the one I had to, you see it, I have it, your bag. I had to actually add this to the bag in order to actually get the price. $13.39. And I got what they call the Dave's double. It's probably a double quarter pounder or something similar to that. Medium natural cut fries. And, for giggles, I added a medium Dr. Pepper. $13.39. So that, now you have Wendy's that is like kind of in between Burger King and McDonald's in terms of value. And I would argue in terms of the size, a Big Mac is probably smaller than the Wendy's double, and definitely smaller in terms of the meat portion than, Burger King. I mean, a Big Mac is essentially a bread sandwich with kind of meat. The burger kind of serves your bacon type role in that whole thing. So that's another interesting one. But yeah, Wendy's is up at $13.39 for that combo meal. Now, the other thing that I checked on this is because a lot of these websites don't actually have portals that you can order through, and you have to do it through like Seamless or Grubhub or whatever those other services are that I don't use. Not because I'm better or anything. I just, in general, like to go to the restaurant and order. Or if we do delivery or takeout, there's a local meal service called Melio that we use that is for our local restaurants. Like I said, guys, I don't do a lot of fast food, but there is some value in it because I know some people do, and it's convenient and it's fast, and there's something going on. So after Wendy's, what do we have that would kind of fit into the same kind of archetype? I don't know about your area, but my area, Sonic, is another big one. And even Sonic, you can see up here, $11.89. This is for the Sonic cheeseburger combo. And that comes with either fries or tater tots and a soda. The on the plus side, you can see here the soda actually has little iced nuggets, which I think is probably the best part about going to Sonic. Aside from their shakes and their ice cream type stuff is good, really good. But this burger, I've had Sonic's burgers in the past. This burger is atrocious. It may be that the Sonic in my area is not a very good Sonic. That could very well be the case. But I've had that burger and it's not great. Definitely not worthy of $11.89. But again, we're again over $10. We're 20% over $10. So that is another interesting kind of data point in this whole discussion. And I have more. At a certain point, there's not a lot of burger places in my area. So I see a comment coming in. Psycho Sis podcast. Hi, nice to see you here. No, Sonic burgers are gross. Thank you for confirming that. I really did not enjoy that. And wow, we have. If I dare take my son into Five Guys, I have to take out a mortgage. Larry, thank you so much for the super chat on that one. And for that, I actually have Five Guys. Let's go there because that's another place that is definitely. I mean, it's a meme now in terms of people talking about how much Five Guys is. Now, for this one, I got a little creative, and I didn't even go with the regular options. I went with the little options. So what I did here, you can see my bag. Again, this was another one where you need to add it to the bag to see the price. And again, here we have Psycho Sis Podcast. Seriously, I spent $90 for 3 meals at Five Guys. That's not even a joke. So here is the little hamburger, which a kid is not even going to get full off of. The little fries, which, okay, their fries portions are a little crazy. Maybe an adult can get by with fries, but the fries are $5. Insanity. And then a soda, because they have that freestyle, is $3. So for those things, they don't even have a combo meal, $15.47. So that's the highest so far and probably the least value. And again, Larry, I can't thank you enough for your super chat on that one. So I think that might be the last of the burgers. I always forget to change up my slides. And then the next kind of thing I want to talk about is your chicken. So when you think chicken, you think like KFC, Popeyes. Those are the two that are in my area. I couldn't find any other fast food kind of chicken places in my area other than kind of local places that really wouldn't be relevant to a wide audience, which I'm hoping this goes out to. But as far as chicken, here's our chicken meals at KFC. So you can see that the 3-piece combo, which comes with one side and a biscuit, is $9.69 with a soda. 3-piece big box meal, 2 sides, almost $12. And it goes from there. 4-piece chicken, $11.39. 3-piece tenders, $8.29. So now we have meals that you can get for under $10. That's good. But I mean, a 3-piece chicken tenders is kind of small. So let's say 4 or 5, you're up over $10 at that point. And then the classic chicken sandwich combo, which I think is an insane deal because KFC's chicken sandwich is very good. It comes with the fries. And another interesting thing, I think it's totally funny that KFC has fries now. In the past, I haven't been to KFC in such a long time. I visited them for the chicken sandwich wars, I think in 2022, 21 or 22. That's when I was doing those chicken sandwich war videos. But now they seem to have French fries. But in the past, they only had those weird potato wedges or mashed potatoes. Go figure, huh? It's like, oh, I didn't include Arby's in this. Maybe I can pull it up on a website and show it to you guys. But Arby's now has burgers. Arby's was always the anti-burger kind of establishment. So I think that's interesting as well. Psycho Sis Podcast, thank you so much for the super sticker. That's so much appreciated. And with you, I am tired of inflation as well. That's kind of the motivator for putting this stream together tonight. And again, I can't thank you enough for your super sticker on that one. But so far, KFC to me looks a little bit reasonable. Now, in my area, KFC is not very close. I either have to go down into the heart of Schenectady or into Albany, both of which are a good 12 to 15 minutes away. Albany, I would say, is probably 20 minutes away from where I am right now. And Larry, yeah, they're making you hungry. You already had dinner. I mean, I'm getting hungry too thinking about this, but also the prices are definitely prohibitive. But then we got to talk about our friends at Popeyes. Classic chicken combo, $10.99. So between Popeyes and KFC, the KFC is a couple dollars less than Popeyes, which I think is also insane and amazing. Popeyes clearly has the market dominated on, that whole kind of internet viral type thing. So I think they feel like they can sustain the pricing. Now, as far as Popeyes in my area, I think there are three. There's one in the mall. There's one in Schenectady here. It's kind of not in a great place to access, but it's fairly close. And then there's one down in Albany in the Westgate area, which again is kind of not very close to me. It's probably a 5-minute drive from the KFC, so a good 25 minutes from me. But that's our chicken sandwiches. Now, shifting a little bit more, one thing I noticed was my friends at Taco Bell. Taco Bell used to be my vice fast food, only because they would always have these $5 cravings boxes that were packed with a bunch of food, and everything at Taco Bell, it's just assembled differently, right? So I noticed that those craving boxes kind of aren't a thing anymore. Aside from here, I have kind of if you pull up their combos on the website, there's the veggie build your own cravings box, which is $5.99. And actually, they do have a taco discovery box, which has one less item than they've had in the past for $5. It's the second from the right. But if you look at the remainder of everything on this combo meal section, there's the deluxe box featuring nacho fries, over $10. There's the Cantina chicken crispy taco meal, $9.89. You might as well call that $10. There's the Cantina chicken burrito, and each of those comes with 3 or 4 things, some of which are their recent promotions. And again, we're over $10, and these don't even come with a side in most cases, except for the one with the nacho fries. So in terms of value, even Taco Bell, I know I have a second slide here. Even Taco Bell has kind of a little bit of a inflation going on, which is a crazy thing to hear, because Taco Bell was always like the cheap place that you would go to, and Larry, to your point, the $5 Taco Bell box seems like a deal. But the one thing to remember, that $5 is a veggie, so you don't get any meat with that. There is the taco discovery box for $5. That only has a couple of hard tacos and one of the Cantina tacos. And I'm not advertising for these places, guys. If you can afford to go, that's good for you. But I'm not trying to advertise. We're going to get to this point in a second, Larry, because there is something going on with fast food that I wanted to mention here toward the end after I talk about what I discovered on this. So here's what I would consider the classic Taco Bell combo meal menu. There's the chalupas, 2 chicken chalupas with 1 taco. They're almost a little over $12. Crunch Wrap Supreme, which is a crunch wrap and a taco with a soda for $10. 3 crunchy tacos, $8.49. That was my go-to meal in college, and it was like $6 back in the day. You basically got tacos were $2 a piece, less than $2 a piece, $2 with tax, and the soda was free. So that's for crunchy tacos. Crunchy Supreme, it's an extra couple bucks. Supreme is just tomato and sour cream on there. Doritos Locos is an upcharge. You get the those, and then soft tacos. I don't want to spend too much time on Taco Bell because they don't actually have the like sides like that. But the no meat options at Taco Bell, Larry, though, are very good. Like the bean burritos are great. So you don't need meat and everything there. I would say Taco Bell, as a proud carnivore, Taco Bell's the one place where if somebody handed me only vegetarian items, I wouldn't be completely disappointed. I do have a couple more to go through here. Actually, I think one more. Yeah, one more. So the last one is kind of another very popular place, and it's Subway Restaurant. And I'm careful about calling it Subway Restaurant. Now, I didn't even go through and build the meals on these because I don't care. But it's a sub, a drink, and a side, which is going to be a bag of chips or a cookie. And you can see the price ranges for the Philly, $11.38 to $15.48, And this is for 6-inch. These are 6-inch prices. Elite Chicken Bacon Ranch, Subway Club. Out of all these, the Titan Turkey is probably the most affordable, where it comes in at $10.38. And the Ultimate BMT, guys, I actually recorded a video reviewing the Ultimate BMT, which I'm going to work on. It'll probably come out later this month or maybe early in July. The Ultimate BMT is gross, just the way it's on the menu. So that's one of those things where it's just it's disgusting. But anyway, that's the most affordable option, and this is for 6-inch. One of the things that's been coming out in recent days, you have places like, and I do want to mention one more thing, Psychosis Podcast. Thank you so much for your comment here. Found me today from the Super Size Me video. You love the content already. Thanks a lot. I put a lot of work over the last almost 6 years into the content on this channel, and I'm finally coming into my own with just being comfortable with presenting a little bit more and putting together edited videos and podcasts and things like that. I actually have a video, maybe I'll do it Friday night, talking about the greatest food scenes in movies of all time. So if you like the Super Size Me video, you're going to love that. Not to kind of sidetrack here, but I've seen news reports where places are saying something to the effect of, we kind of messed up and we need to pull back on prices because people are not sustaining it. You have places like Target who have said this. Places like basically they said the prices have been raised so much that they're going to lower prices. There's no way about it. And one thing I do want to also mention here. Let's stop that. I found a news article. This is on CNBC. And again, I don't have any affiliation to news and all that stuff. I find politics boring. You guys come here to talk about food. We're not talking about politics. So like here, fast food franchise owners and squeezed customers test the limits of the value meal economy. With restaurant sales down, Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's are all responding to price-weary customers with value menus. Some fast food business experts call these value meal deals unprofitable loss leaders. Franchisees say the new promotions bring relief to inflation-squeezed customers, though the margins may shrink if they aren't able to lure customers into the purchase of additional ticket items or gain market share on competitors. Now, this goes to a comment that Larry left in this chat a little bit earlier. Essentially, when they have these low-level items, what these places kind of thrive on and how they operate really to maintain their corporate structure is they it's telling me there's going to be an ad. I'm going to skip that for you guys. They will price stuff low and they call it a loss leader. I'm sure, Larry, you probably have encountered this at places like, because you do repair stuff like Home Depot, Lowe's, things that get you in the store for you to buy at a low price so that you can buy the well-priced items in order for you to buy. So I'm susceptible to this type of marketing in a pretty bad way. When I'll go to Burger King, I'll see like the special, like the deal of the week or whatever it is. They'll have like $2 chicken nuggets or something like that. I'll always get that, but I'll always get that with something else. And that's kind of what they rely on just to get the ticket prices higher. So if they can convert a customer by selling more to that customer, that's kind of where they make their bread and butter. So by offering value menu stuff, if people go there and just get the value menu, that's not doing them any good. It's just like Red Lobster, who recently filed for Chapter 21, and they're saying that the reason they have to file for Chapter 21 is because because of the endless shrimp promotion. Now, whether or not that's actually true or not, I think hasn't been confirmed. But I think there's good proof to the fact that didn't do them any favors. When you have people that go in there for $22 and get as much shrimp as they want, those people aren't going to be buying martinis and drinks and all that other stuff. They're going to go in there for the endless shrimp, and they're going to sit there for a couple hours and do it. I watched 2 videos on YouTube just a couple days ago of just people completely taking advantage of it before it closes. So that's not one of those things that they're gonna make a lot of money off of. Um, so how much of this actually is going to be helpful for the restaurant fast food industry to make these price changes, maybe cut the Big Mac meal down or something, or have like the 2 hamburger meal at like $5 or whatever it is. I think at Burger King there was a point where the promotion was something to the effect of um, you can pick 4 things from this like list of stuff, and essentially if you pick it right, you get 2 combo meals, and you just have to buy sodas, and it was like $6 for that. Um, but if people keep going there with that mindset that I'm just going to keep getting the deal, you're not that customer is not really helping you. So the jury is out as far as whether or not this is going to be helpful. But there were a couple quotes in the article that I thought were interesting. If I can find it. And here's actually a good comment. What's it going to look like in 20 years? Do prices keep going up? It's scary for real. The prices, once the prices go up, they'll never go down. So that's something to just keep in mind. $20 now is not worth what it was 35 years ago, of course. But yeah, $14.95 for a Big Mac meal, it's gonna be more, in 20 years if we're around. So here's a good comment. $5 meal is not an item that can be permanently part of the menu. The cost has gone up so much that if franchisees are going to sell $5 value meals, they will lose money on every customer that buys them. And then the interesting part about this quote is it doesn't talk about the company losing money. It talks about the franchisees losing the money. Now, obviously the main brand benefits when the franchisees do well. But if the franchisee is not having the people come in through the door, or do the drive-through, or do the apps now, apps are another thing. Somebody left me a comment about how you can get a value meal for under $10 if you do it through the app, and that's another way that they're trying to lure you in. They're using your data to advertise to you, essentially. But if the franchisee can't get people through the door, essentially what this quote tells me is that with these $5 or any value meal, that those types of things are something that the franchisee has to eat the cost on, which is kind of unfortunate if you think about it. It's one of those things where it's like, uh, how do you, as a franchisee, you're relying on the national marketing, right? You need to get people in there, but like there's really nothing you can do. You have to sell these loss leaders, and hope that people will buy more from there. Let's see here. And here's another point that I said here. They want customers to get the value meal and then buy more. The idea isn't that the consumer will buy a value meal and walk away. If consumers do that, selling the value meal will be such a bad idea. And they talk about in this article, which is actually linked below. If it isn't, I'll make sure I do that right after. But in major markets like California, where minimum wage for fast food workers is now $20, inflationary pressures on ingredients and packaging persist. The only hope restaurants have of turning a profit on a value meal is if a customer buys the meal and also adds an apple pie or others that have higher margins. How can they serve $5 value meals with that minimum wage and still make a profit? It's impossible anymore unless consumers buy other things. So that's kind of the nature of that article, kind of the spirit of what they're trying to say there. Definitely very interesting topic. It's something I wanted to talk about here on the podcast. I personally don't really have an opinion. I mean, I think in terms of business, I can understand, having to cover your costs, and definitely understand minimum wage needs to be something that is taken care of. because a lot of these places do have low wages. So yeah, that's absolutely a concern. But how can the consumer sustain that for long term? A lot of families rely on the convenience of places like McDonald's. But like personally, like I can't like for me, if I'm going to spend $15 on lunch, I'd rather go to a local place here, or sit down with my friend at a bar they work at, like I did last week. It might be a couple dollars more than that if I have to tip or whatever, but you're supporting the local economy, and you're going to get a better meal that is more sustainable. I just personally can't justify um, paying $15 for a Big Mac. That's $12 for a Whopper, I think, is a lot more reasonable in my head, at least. But $15 for a Big Mac is just insanity. Um, but again, I want to thank you for watching today, especially for those who were here and left a super chat or super sticker. Thank you so much for that. I do have more live streams planned for this week, so 8 o'clock every night. Make sure you tune back in. And for those watching in the replay, I will leave a link to that Super Size Me video where I talk about a couple of the same points in regards to how the impact that movie made. I'll leave that up on the screen. You can watch that next. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.